Hey peeps, welcome back to a special continuation of our previous episode. We talked so much we had to split it up. So if you haven't listened to the previous, go ahead and check that out. If you're all caught up, then you may proceed.
We're back at it, fellas. So who wants to go next?
I don't care.
What's the next? Why don't you go? Why don't you do yours now?
All right.
This is going to be John's masterpiece.
One of my favorite games is Clue. I like solving mysteries. So I found a website. It's called 5 Minute Mysteries, or 5minutemystery.com. And I feel like I'm going to read you guys a mystery. I actually haven't done this. I'm actually going to have you guys pick it. I've only done one to see how this worked.
Are you done yet with your topic? Jesus,
all right. So that was my topic, guys. All right, now on to the next. No. So I'm going to have you guys pick it based on some of these. I'm on the main page. I can go to like the mystery archives if you guys want as well. But I feel like let's solve a mystery or two today. So you listeners can also play along. Let us know if you picked up on any of the clues that we didn't. And let us know in the comments. So you guys want to start?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I was going to hook it up to a monitor, but I totally forgot. I didn't realize I was.
Mr. Gene in the
So the most popular, the 5 most popular here are called Who Shot Mom, The Arsonist Attack, Murder in the Old House, The Stolen Cupcake, and The Cornfield Caper. Did you want to do any of those?
Obviously, Murder in the Old House.
Murder in the Old House.
The Stolen Cupcake only has a 23% solve.
And we definitely don't want to do that.
I like the old house.
Yeah,
The Old
let's
House,
do
that
the
is a
Old House.
47.
Yeah.
So about 50.
It's a coin flip.
50. All right. I
Do
don't know
we
if you
need to
guys
be-
want to get like a notepad
I
or
was going to
something
say, do we need to be taking
to write stuff. I can always repeat it. Like I said, I can probably still hook it up here if we like pause for a second. Do you want me to put it up on here as well, or
Nah, we're good.
no? Okay.
good.
All right. So attempt of this mystery. So
Notes.
the average. Okay. Apparently, I clicked on it and it went up. Somebody must have done it by the time I was sitting on this page, but it's got a 54% solve rate.
All right.
So
Easier.
we have a good shot, I guess. The average time somebody did this was 6 minutes and 5 seconds, but I feel like we'll be discussing and make that go a little longer. So I'm going to go ahead and hit attempt. You guys ready for Murder in the Old House?
Murder in the Old House.
All right, here we go.
Is this timed?
It is actually, but
Okay.
we can go as long as we want.
Yeah.
We're already
that's
12
what-
seconds into it.
That's what I told her.
What the fuck did you say?
Anyway, Todd Jensen recently inherited the old Jensen family home. He and his wife, Anne, were busy with the repairs and remodeling. It was a wonderful inheritance as the home was built in 1910 and was surprisingly modern in design. So, it was on a bitterly cold and dark winter day that Todd sat across from his beloved cousin, Charlene, who had come in for a visit. Todd took a seat after pouring steaming mugs of hot chocolate. He began to relate the story he had promised her. He did not tell her there would be a challenge as well. ... Todd took his first sip of hot cocoa and said, "Thanks for coming. There are some things you need to know." Todd and Charlene were more than cousins. They had been best friends in I saw that look. Now you threw me off. Todd and Charlene were more than cousins. They had been best friends and confidants for 30 years, since they were both toddlers in diapers. Charlene replied, "No problem, Todd. What's on your mind?" Todd took a deep breath. Anne and I found an old letter. It was pasted on the wall behind the wallpaper in the formal dining room and was signed by Mildred Jensen and dated May 25th, 1925. He claims her husband, Earl, was murdered by their son, Edward. Charlene exclaimed, almost choking on the sip of hot chocolate. "That's our great uncle." Who wrote this? Tom Fowler, you're funny. "Yeah, I know," replied Todd dryly, and said that Edward was murdered in one of the upstairs rooms. Thoughtfully, Charlene answered, "There are 4 bedrooms, plus a bathroom upstairs. Which room was it?" Pausing for a moment, she asked, "Are you going to tell the police? What about the rest of the family?" Slowly, Todd answered, "This happened almost 84 years ago. Everyone in this generation is long past. I believe it would be best to let sleeping dogs lie." Charlene understood perfectly. She nodded her head and asked, "Why tell me then?" "Well, you know that I share everything with you. Besides," he grinned, "I have a challenge for you." "And that would be?" she asked. "I will tell you the rest of the story and you tell me what room great-grandfather was murdered in." So apparently we're finding out which room he was murdered in, okay? You guys remember how many rooms were upstairs?
4 plus a bathroom.
4 plus a bath, correct. All right. He and Charlene played mystery games as a child, and now they had an opportunity to analyze the real Jensen family murder mystery. To begin, Todd began relating his tale. According to great-grandmother's letter, Edward killed Earl in a fit of rage. It was about 10 p.m. on a spring evening. He was found slumped over in a chair with a knife mark in his neck. Why did he kill his own father, she asked. Mildred indicated that Edward was what they called in those days a no account. He was a cocksure 20-year-old who spent too much money and had a violent temper. The letter also says he had gotten a younger woman pregnant out of wedlock. That was a serious taboo back then, so serious that it could, and often did, ruin entire families' reputations. Anyway, Earl and Edward argued about this, and a disagreement so severe that Earl lost his life because of it. May I see the letter, she asked. After you solved the mystery, Todd grinned. They sipped their hot cocoa and began to talk. Charlene returned to her cousin's smile and said, okay, great-grandfather was murdered and it was a cover-up, and nobody except Mildred knew of it until you and Anne found the letter remodeling the dining room. Says, as far as I know, that is correct. Was he murdered in the same room he was found? Yes. So he was murdered in the same room that he was found. All right. What about the other family members, she asked. Mildred wrote that Anita was terrified. Anita, that's another character we got here. Anita was terrified and locked herself in her room when the argument began. Where was Mildred? Todd was pleased that his cousin was warming to her task. She was downstairs and very frightened, but close to the stairs. Charlene said, tell me about the upstairs bath. One of the nicest of its day, Todd said. As you know, it was large and even contained a small chair and reading table, as it had state-of-the-art plumbing and was one of the first to have a shower head. The mint-colored tile and enamel was very rare as well back then. Harry, Edward, were they there? Harry was not in the house that night. He was estranged from the family in the 20s. I know this because Dad and Mom used to speak of it. One night he had a moving truck come and take everything from his room. Harry's room was empty for a number of years. As far as Edward goes, he was home that night. Mildred did not say where he was when the murder took place. Charlene considered what she had heard for several minutes while Todd awaited her next question. Finally, she asked, a violent stabbing would have generated a lot of blood. Did any of the upstairs rooms have carpeting? Yes, answered Todd. Edward and Anita's room had carpet in it. In fact, new carpet had been installed in those rooms shortly before the killing. Mildred and Earl, and Anne and I were doing some remodeling. The house was 15 years old in 1925 and was due for a bit of a facelift. Remember, when we were kids, as late as 1983, the original carpets were still in both Edward and Anita's rooms. They were over 55 years old. What about the master bedroom, she asked. The master bedroom was, for the predominant family such as ours, fairly Spartan. Within the master bedroom, there was twin beds, an armoire, a chest of drawers, and a very small vanity and stool for great-grandmother. No carpeting. And if I recall, they never had throw rugs to keep their feet warm in the wintertime. Charlene and Todd sat in silence for what seemed like a long time. Both finished their second cup of hot chocolate. Finally, Todd asked, in which room was great-grandfather murdered? So now we have to solve this.
Can I take a guess?
I mean, we could discuss. I don't know the answer until we pick one.
It wasn't a bedroom.
Yeah, it's the bathroom.
You guys think it's the bathroom? Mm-hmm. What makes you think it's the bathroom?
Because, so you got one room. You got Anita's one room, Edward one room, the empty room, which was Harry's room, and the master bathroom. They didn't say anything about blood being on the carpet, so you know it's not Anita's room or Edward's room. The other two rooms are Harry's room and the master bedroom.
Which
Harry's room was empty.
And Harry's room's empty, so you
the
know it
bathroom
wasn't
has
there.
just the green tiles. So
Yeah, so it's either the master bedroom or the bathroom.
Thoughts? Other two? Jeremy looks confused.
I mean, I was trying to write as many notes as I possibly could down, but I can't write fast. So
the bathroom was big enough for a stabbing.
Yep.
I feel like all the rooms are big enough for that.
They had table and chairs.
Could be.
And
So we have 5 rooms to choose from here, obviously.
Yeah.
For those, just to sum up here, we have the bathroom, the bedroom of daughter Anita, the bedroom of the oldest son Harry, the bedroom of the youngest son Edward, and then the master bedroom of Earl and Mildred. Earl dead.
I'm saying the bathroom. That's my input.
I think it could be, but I would assume there might have been a lock in use in the bed or in the bathroom.
Yeah.
What was he doing in the bathroom?
I don't know.
You said Anita and Edward's bedroom had new carpet in it.
Let me double check here. I knew I should have highlighted this.
The room had the carpet. Edward, they had the same carpet from
Edward
80
and
years
Anita's
ago.
room had carpet.
the original carpet.
In fact, new carpet had been installed in those rooms shortly before the killing. So they had new carpet before the killing, and then for 55 years, it wasn't changed. So they had newer carpet before the killing.
So if there was a killing, it would have been in the same stuff. But so it wouldn't be in that room since it's not in the...
is missing a detail that would help us.
Possibly.
Tom Fowler, you son of a bitch.
We just know he's stabbed in the neck, and we don't know where he is
What
at.
side of the neck?
Makes me think of we just watched it when Henry's dad got stabbed right in the neck.
Well, and we know the note was hid in the dining room wall in 1925.
Yeah. What an odd place to put that note too, by the way.
What? I don't see how that would tell
Affect
us
your answer. Yeah, I
Well,
don't
why
know
would
either.
Edward kill someone in his own room?
That's
if somebody entered his room, but
Wow. And leave him in his room?
yeah, probably not.
Mildred was downstairs, so I don't think.
It wasn't Mildred. Yeah, so
Well, it doesn't even
take
say
place in
who
the-
killed him.
Right.
Well,
But-
it says
You guys picked
Edward
this one.
killed him.
It says Edward killed Earl.
Yeah,
Did I?
yeah.
Yeah.
Edward killed Earl because he knocked up some chick.
Yeah, because he was an adulterer. Stabbed in the neck, murdered in the same room he was stabbed in.
Earl and Edward argued about
And
it. Yeah,
Todd
okay.
and Charlene,
Yeah.
who are cousins, are more than cousins.
Well, those are the two people that are.
Yeah.
That's what turned me off.
It was they've been
I should have
best
you
friends.
can
It's the
highlight certain
bathroom.
sentences in this one.
I'm gonna say the bathroom. It's an easy place to clean up.
Are we gonna?
Yeah.
So should I choose the bathroom? We're all in agreement. It is the bathroom. What do you at home think? Oh wait, you can't answer us right now.
Because if there's no other telling features,
Stop it.
What?
Yawning.
Oh, sorry.
he is in a room in which he can clean himself and not. Well, I guess we already know it's him. Bathroom.
Because of the note. We didn't know.
All right, you all say the bathroom.
bathroom.
Let's see what we got here.
Nope. It was in his car.
All right, I'm gonna click here to read the full solution. Oh my god, it's like 10 minutes long. Charlene looked at the empty cupboard and began to speak. The murder was not in Anita's room. She was locked in for the duration of the argument and the killing. It was not done in Harry's room either. An empty room would contain no chair for Earl to be found slumped over in. The same goes for the master bedroom. It contained a stool for great-grandmother, but no chair. Edward's room would still have bloody carpet on the floor from 1983 to 1925. No matter how hard you would try to clean it up, it would not keep it for over half a century. So it had to be the bathroom, where was the chair was a bit. Yeah, we solved it basically.
Good job. Good job.
Yesterday, I hired a man to paper the dining room. I told him we wanted to paste this letter on the wall and paper over it. So that answers why it was in the dining room, I guess. As a time capsule for future generations. He thought it was a nice idea and enthusiastically agreed to do. Who the fuck would agree to do that? That was fucking stupid.
One thing
You'd
I
be
don't
shocked
get
we didn't know. But yeah, it was
is
the bathroom.
they started off with piping hot chocolate, and he takes a sip.
I know, that's fucking ridiculous. We did that in 11 minutes and 9 seconds. And
We would have been done in 4 if you fuckers would have just listened to me.
I mean, fair.
was
But we got it
about that
right,
much.
okay? That's all that matters is we got it right. And that's
I
fine.
feel like I was writing down
You
details. that-
wrote down far too much information.
Same here.
Like if you look at my notes, it's just like bedroom,
That's what I did
affair, prego.
too. Hyphen neck. But it's just
Prego.
like I feel like I was expecting it to be like more intricate. So I was like writing
Yeah,
down
that's
like
fair.
details like he was 5'2" and
Right. Like they had, I think they had those details so you just like
Throw you off a little bit.
concentrate on those, and they aren't that important. The dates were important though because, like you said, you wouldn't change. If you had blood on your carpet, you would definitely change it. You wouldn't keep it for 55 years or whatever it was.
Unless you're into that.
I mean, maybe. Do you guys want to try one that has a terrible success rate to solve real quick? Let's
give it a shot.
Let's do one more.
sure.
All right. So the two that are on my screen right now have a 22% and a 23%. One is the stolen cupcake, and one is school trip.
I like
I like cupcakes.
yeah.
You want to do the cupcake?
Let's everybody have their own answer. We'll all give our own answer and see who's correct.
Shit, no, because I'm
Right now?
gonna be. I suck at these things.
This has a solve rate of 22%, and
Let's do it to
it
it.
doesn't have a good average. Let's read the synopsis real quick to see if you guys want to continue with this one. Leslie loved being a stay-at-home mom. Contrary to popular belief, she was never bored and always busy. Not only did she have her own 2 precious angels to look after, 3-year-old Angelica and 6-year-old Caden, she also took care of her 2 neighborhood brothers, Ross and Tony Price, age 5 and 7. Having younger children in the house will always come with surprises. Sounds like an age thing we got.
How is cum spelled?
Hold on. 2 kids, 3 and Angelica's 3 and what?
6.
All right, let's go. I'm going to attempt it. So
Leslie ate the cupcake.
that was the first sentence of it. So I think while I'm on it, I'm going to highlight this.
I'm just going to write random words that don't even
That's
make
fine.
sense that come out of your mouth.
Boogers. On this beautiful summer day, Leslie had baking on the brain after shooting the kid.
I'm done with this one already. I'm
Oh,
done.
I thought that said shooting. It says after shooing the kids out into the backyard to play. She had got to work. An hour and a half later, she was pleased with her final results: an apple pie, a batch of ginger snap cookies, and a dozen double chocolate cupcakes. The kids seemed to be enjoying their time out in the sunshine as Leslie watched them through the window of the kitchen door. She bundled up the pie and cookies and was just about to put the cupcakes away when she heard loud crying from the backyard. Leaving the cupcakes on the kitchen counter, she rushed out the kitchen door and she saw that little Ross had gotten stung by a bee right on the bottom of his foot. Scooping him up, she brought the other kids through the kitchen, directing them to go to the playroom. Taking Ross to the upstairs bathroom, she tended to his foot and tried to get them to settle down. 3-year-old Angelica, 6-year-old Caden, and Ross, he's the neighbor kid. So Ross and Tony Price, that's 5 and 7.
Hi.
So yeah, 4 children in the house. Okay. Tony, Ross's big brother, came up with them, but eventually Leslie told him to go join the other kids downstairs. Poor Tony just wanted to help, but his worried questions and nervousness wasn't
Tony did
helping
it.
Ross calm down. In time, Ross' tears dried, but he still wouldn't put pressure on his foot. Leslie carried him down the stairs and sat him on the big comfy chair in the playroom. Tony immediately rushed to his side, asked how he felt, and tried giving him hugs and kisses in an attempt to make him feel better. Leslie decided she should go upstairs and call Mrs. Price and let her know what happened. After the short phone call, Leslie checked on the kids in the playroom, then went back to the kitchen to finish up. As she went and put the cupcakes away, she realized one was missing, 11 instead of 12. She smiled and shook her head. She knew that leaving her freshly baked cupcakes out in the open was a temptation for each kid because they enjoyed her double chocolate cupcakes. However, all the kids knew the rules. They were not allowed to take any food without getting permission. Now she had to figure out who the culprit was and take the appropriate action. She quickly surveyed the kitchen. Nothing looked to be out of the ordinary except for one of her large oak kitchen chairs. Leslie had pushed all the chairs in after they were done with lunch, but this one looked like it had been pulled back out again. So we have an oak kitchen chair. It makes me think right away, though, one of the younger kids,
Maybe.
being smaller.
Or
Yeah.
Tony is smart since he's the older one.
Maybe.
And
Maybe.
he
I
put
like
that
our
there.
trains of thought so far. Okay. Let me continue this here. Heading back to the playroom, she sat down on the couch beside Ross and observed the kids. Ross had gotten a hold of a teddy bear and looked like he was starting to fall asleep, obviously oblivious to the story that Tony was trying to read to him. Caden was noisily playing with superhero action figures. Angelica was busy preparing a pretend meal on the stove in her toy kitchen. There were no obvious signs that one of the kids had eaten the cupcake, no chocolate fingers or dirty mouths. Leslie had to assume that the cupcake had been hidden, as none of the kids were particularly neat eaters at this stage in their lives. Angelica was genuinely a happy child. She was mama's girl and loved helping Leslie in the kitchen and with chores. Right now, Leslie was working on teaching her the value of patience, which was proving to be a challenge. Ross was a small, quiet boy, but got along well with others. He absolutely loved sweets, but was a picky eater otherwise. Tony played the ever-protective big brother role, oftentimes questioning the decisions Leslie made. However, Mrs. Price had talked to Leslie about the struggles they were having, teaching him not to take things that didn't belong to him. So we already kind of suspecting Tony, and that information kind of, but could that be a red herring?
I feel like it is.
I feel like it kind of could be too.
All right,
Caden was the leader of the little group. He was good-natured, but he was often bossy with his peers, tending to try to want things his own way. Leslie was constantly reminding him to put others first. Having Ross and Tony around certainly gave him the opportunity to practice. After a few moments spent in deep thought, she had a solution. "Everyone come here and sit by me." We have something important to talk about. Leslie patted the couch beside her, and all the children came and sat near her. We all know that I have been baking this afternoon. I made some double chocolate cupcakes, but now one is missing. Someone took it when I wasn't looking, and we all know that is against the rules. Does anyone know what happened? 4 sets of eyes looked back at each other as they all shook their heads from side to side. So there was one little actor in the midst. Well, I don't know who did it. She turned toward the culprit and said, but what I want to know is where you've hidden the cupcake. This is kind of hard.
I think it's.
I feel like the success rate is based on the lack of information.
I think Lonnie and I both kind of figured it out.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear
I
it.
think it's
Caden.
Caden because he's hyper sugar.
Yeah, he's the only one of the group who seems to be more elevated hyperness out of the group. So
He's the bossy one.
I don't think.
I think he
hyper
told
sugar
someone to do it.
means he
You think he
ate
told
it,
someone?
but it's hidden, so he didn't take it.
Hidden in the belly.
Well, I think
Well,
Angelica did it because
Because of Rugrats?
yes,
well, we can say Ross had no opportunity to take it.
Right.
Angelica
So
is
he's
really
out.
used to working at the counter, so maybe even using the oak chair. She has helped her mom many times, and Ross and Tony have been pretty much with each other. She sent him downstairs, and then when
I feel like when he went downstairs, he could have
could have.
swiped the cupcake and then kind of hit it.
He could
That way
have.
nobody, I don't know.
But he immediately went to go tend back to his brother. I think his brother was more important the entire time. I don't think the cupcake was on his mind. Angelica was by a kitchen set, which has many places to hide something.
I agree.
Whereas Caden only had a single action figure, which
Well, multiple action figures. That's figures.
or figures, whatever. I say Angelica.
Yeah, we're both going with Caden over here.
Caden. So I think we're all ruling Ross out, right? Like
Yeah.
he's stung by bees upstairs.
He's been
He's
monitored
probably
the whole
fucker
time.
that did it.
yeah, I know. He's probably hiding it in his stuffed animal that he had.
And Ross is 5 years old. If he might need a chair, but he also needs both feet.
Mom
He's-
has dementia. Shit.
Mom ate the cookie.
It's the dog.
Right? It doesn't say that. Dog.
It's the mother price.
I feel like with the success rate being 22%, or whatever it was, I feel like the obvious answer isn't the answer, or the obvious answer is the answer, and people are overthinking it, like I am right now.
Right.
So you guys say Caden, right?
We'll say
You
Caden.
both do
I think the fucker
because
ate it.
he's a little bossy shithead.
We don't agree how his name is spelled, but we agree on that.
Because
How did you spell it? Because I think
I
it's
spelled
spelled
it with
wrong.
a K.
I spell it with C.
Caedon is how they spell it on.
Oh,
this.
wow.
Oh,
I know. I was like, what the fuck?
I had no why.
My friend has a son named Caden, and I spelled it like that with K-A-D-E-N.
yeah.
Same.
So everyone spelled it differently.
because of the spelling, he's guilty.
Yeah. Right. If you rearrange Caden, it spells little prick.
does it say that it's hidden, or like can somebody?
Well, there's
Could've ate
no.
it.
It says that there are messy eaters, and there's no evidence that somebody ate it.
Yes. Also,
So I
Angelica.
do like what he's saying. There are more opportunities for him to.
Or
Although,
Angelica.
yeah,
Angelica's also been having challenges. What was it? Not just with the chores, but with something else. What was it?
PMS.
no, she's a happy child, mama's girl, loved helping in the kitchen. I feel like if
A
she's
mama's
helping in the
girl
kitchen,
can-
she gets muffins
Yeah.
all the time.
A mama's girl can
Cupcakes,
probably
whatever this is.
act her way.
I might be swayed by Justin when he said about how Angelica helps her mom a lot, so she would.
Here's
have
here's
chair.
a sentence here that kind of incriminates Angelica here. Right now, Leslie is working on teaching her the value of patience.
But it's having challenges.
Yes, but was proving to be a challenge.
Yeah.
So
I'm sticking with Caden. If you guys want to go Angelica, go Angelica. I'm sticking to my guns.
I feel like we're 50-50 in this.
I
room.
think I'm sticking with Caden. I think I'm going with my gut. I think he fucking ate it.
Well, I gotta choose one.
I think he's
to
sugar,
see if I get it right.
sugar high.
I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna pick Angelica and see what happens.
Okay.
It's loading the solution. Angelica is incorrect. Caden wide eyes turned into a scowl. How do you know it was me? It could have been anyone, Mom. Not fair. Caden, here's how I know it was you. First, your little sister is too small to reach the kitchen counter, and she isn't strong enough to move the kitchen chairs. She couldn't have taken the cupcake because she couldn't reach it. Ross was with me most of the time. Even when I went upstairs to make the phone call, he still didn't want to walk on his sore foot. So we all ruled Ross out right away. So, this one's pretty obvious. Tony was worried sick about Ross and sat down by his side as soon as I brought Ross back to his playroom. He was in the same spot when I returned from the phone call. I think he was too busy worrying for Ross to think about the cupcake. That leaves you, young man. Why did you break the rules? Caden scowled and was like, you spelled my name wrong. No. Well, we never got to finish playing outside because of Ross got stung by that dumb bee. And I was going to win. I know I was. Then I saw the cupcakes. I decided I deserved a prize because I would have won. So it was Caden, apparently.
What a dumbass.
What a fucking dick. Good job to Jeremy and Lonnie.
Although it wasn't
solving
that he was hyper.
No, it was because he's a dick. Apparently.
I kind of wondered about that too because it was an oak chair. And I thought it was
that's heavy. That is heavy. I didn't even think about that.
Quit backtracking now, Justin.
It's hindsight is 20/20, obviously, but
that was one of the first clues was oak chair.
Yeah,
so that's heavy.
Yeah,
but if she's used to doing work, I would assume maybe. But I don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Well, more of those over.
Yeah, well, I saved the website here, and this will be something we can revisit, especially if the users like it as well, or viewers, listeners, whatever the fuck they are.
Users,
listeners, lookers,
drug
seers.
users.
Yep,
use us for rehab.
Is there a drug user one? There's so many of these, so like I said, we can do as many of these.
They're
as
unlimited.
Sometimes.
I want a naughty one.
But since Jeremy's topic went 4 hours, we'll only do the 2 today. So
all right.
Let us know if you guys solved the mystery.
That was like a week ago.
Yeah.
The mystery of the cookie.
But anyway, that was 5 Minute Mystery. If you guys want to do any yourself, 5minutemystery.com. 5 is the number 5, by the way.
I'll edit all that out. That way it can be all ours.
Yep, fine. Fuck it. I don't give a crap.
You have to wait.
Nice.
Yeah. They'll be like, I solved it in 10 seconds. Well, yeah, you knew the fucking story, you dickhead. Anyway, moving on.
That podcast do anything for you? Well, that's not all. Stay tuned next week for the continuation of this episode, or whenever these things come out. Later.